Why do we train so hard?
So I can breathe.
Why do you need to breathe?
So I can think.
Why?
If I can breathe, I can think. If I can think, I can win.
That's the way, boy. Come on.
Hi, Movie Squad. Today we're here with Daniel MacPherson. He's the protagonist of the upcoming movie The Beast, and it's from Lionsgate. And it's a pleasure to have you on the channel, Daniel.
My friend, thank you so much for having me. Great to chat.
Yeah, I like the poster you have on the back.
I feel a long way away from that guy, to be honest. It feels a little bit unrecognizable, but I think maybe it means I've done a good job. I went pretty hard at creating that guy and that character, and it's nice to be a little bit more back to normal now.
Yeah, and okay, so talk to us about your character. What is the movie about? Beast.
I play a character called Patton James. He's a retired MMA fighter. He's now a husband and a father, and he's working on a fishing trawler south of Sydney, trying to make ends meet, struggling to pay his bills. Life has changed dramatically since he was a professional fighter many, many years ago. He's got a fractured relationship with his old coach, played by Crowe, and some things happen and some things change, and Patton decides that he has to dust off the gloves and get back into the cage. And that's not an easy task for him. He's not fit, he's out of shape, and no one wants him to do it. So it's got all those traditional kind of fight movie kind of storylines, but it's got a fresh take on it. It's a fresh Australian take. And we end up filming between Sydney and Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand. And we believe and we hope that the work we've put in sees some of the most intense and realistic MMA action ever seen on screen.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And listen, you got to work with Russell Crowe, who's one of the greats. Yeah. And I want to know, how was that relationship working with Russell Crowe on the movie?
So extraordinary, so extraordinary. He and I've been fortunate enough to work together 3 times now. We worked together on a film called Poker Face, which we shot back in Sydney, and he directed that film also. And then we worked on a film called Land of Bad, which went really well around the world. And the writer of Land of Bad actually gave us that script, the script for Beast, and said, "Hey, you guys have worked so well on Land of Bad. I've got this other script for you. I'd like you guys to check it out." And that was the first time I read Beast. It was originally set in upstate New York, and it ended up getting swapped out to Australia with an Australian director, Tyler Atkins. And I got to work with Russell for a 3rd time. He's an incredible actor. He's an incredible cinematic actor. He teaches me constantly about stillness and presence and intention. He has a relationship with the camera unlike probably anyone else I've ever worked with. And for anyone that ever gets the chance to be on a set with him, you don't want to miss a thing. You want to soak up every little lesson that you can learn while you're there.
That sounds really good. And listen, we got to talk about MMA. This movie seems to have a lot of MMA components, and I want to know, did you have a special type of training for the movie? Did you watch any movie that you think would have benefited your acting?
I didn't watch a lot. I mean, I'd seen a lot of the old stuff like Kickboxer I loved. Obviously, Warrior was so seminal, and 15 years before we made it. And Cliff Dorfman, one of the writers of Warrior, came and saw Beast and gave us his tick of approval, which was great. But the sport has evolved so much in that 15 years since Warrior was made, and we were aware of that. So Bren Foster and I worked really hard, and Bren and his team took over the choreography of the film. They pushed me to work harder, faster, and more intensely, just to keep up with the quality and level of MMA that's accessible 24/7 these days. So, but look, it took me 3.5 years to learn how to fight. It took me 3.5 years to get into that shape, and my body's still paying for it.
Yeah, and so listen, before we wrap up this interview, I want to know, what are your next projects that we can talk about?
Such a great question, my man. I'm waiting for the right film. I'm gonna jump onto a movie this year. I'm producing and financing films out of Australia myself. But I'm gonna jump onto a film. I'm just not sure which one next, which is a great position to be in. So, often you're fighting for get an audition and get a job, but at the moment, the movies are coming to me, which is great. So I'm just waiting to pick the right one.
Okay, that sounds really good. I hope that for the next movie, we can talk about it a little bit more. So yeah, that will be all. And thank you so much for this interview.
Fantastic, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for chatting. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, buddy.